Thursday. Happy Thursday. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I just realized I left this on Wi-Fi and that might not work out. You guys can hear me so we can jump into all of the informative and entertaining things we have today, because the Democrats are legitimately furious. They are furious and they are losing their minds, and I want to talk about it because I'm sure you guys have seen it. It's been on social media. Don't really know if the news is talking about it like they should, because, you know, the news is one-sided and we know what side they're on, so they're not going to cover a lot of the stuff we're going to cover here today, which is probably why you guys come over here to Squirrel Tribe, because I will cover stuff that some other people won't, and in a different way than other people do, because, you know, squirrel brain and whatnot. So hopefully you guys can hear me. We're going to jump into this and let's go. The first thing I would like to mention is the fact that the election, right? November 5th was when the election was, November 5th. And since November 5th, it feels like people, well, we're just going to say the word people, have gotten more and more batshit crazy since November 5th. And it like really kicked into high gear on January 20th, right after maybe noonish time on January 20th. It really kicked into gear with the batshit craziness, and it has continued to escalate. And I'm kind of curious when it's going to either flatten out or start going downhill. How long can you be that upset and it not really start to affect you physically? Obviously, a lot of people are affected mentally, but how long can you carry around such absolute hatred and fear, which is the most BS thing I've ever heard of, and all these other just gross emotions before it takes a physical toll on your body? I know there's a lot of people out there right now who probably either have crazy diarrhea or constipated as hell, all because of the way they are keeping their bodies wound up and tense and in fight mode, because they have to find some reason to just unleash the spew of BS on anybody who does not agree with them on their side. You know it's causing them physical pain. There's no way that it's not. What else is causing them physical pain is when, oh, I don't know, you go to try to light a Tesla on fire and instead light yourself on fire because you're a dumbass and don't understand how gasoline works. Or, you know, physical pain probably when you run your mouth on TikTok and social media in specific ways. People find out where you work and then you lose your job and now you have no money, honey. That's going to physically hurt you as well. Let's there's this waitress. I don't know if you guys have seen this. I'm not going to like play the whole video. Again, this is probably backwards because YouTube live streams, they like to do everything backwards for me. It says here, a waitress at a Mexican restaurant fired for posting a video saying Mexican food is not for Trump voters and suggesting they eat unseasoned chicken instead. So this female works in a Mexican restaurant, and instead of keeping her opinions to herself, and obviously that sounds real hypocritical because my opinions are all over social media, but that's what I do. I don't work inside a restaurant and then come here and give you guys my opinion knowing good and damn well that it could, you know, end up costing me my job somewhere, right? I come here because I can do this, right? She cannot. And it was proven when her bosses found out and kicked her out. Because when you decide to crap on 90% of the population, it's going to hurt business. And her saying that Trump voters should not go to Mexican restaurants, that is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Just like saying Trump voters shouldn't go and eat any kind of soul food. Trump voters shouldn't go to whatever. I can't even think of anything right now because it's all incredibly stupid. But the fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, this girl went on there and ran her mouth, and now she has no job. You have Elizabeth Warren. We're going to talk about Tesla for just a second. There are videos upon videos upon videos of people going out. So this is in Las Vegas, okay? This says here, video provided to the Review Journal shows several Tesla vehicles engulfed in flames after Las Vegas police say they were set on fire by an individual early Tuesday morning. They did this on purpose. Now, Captain Mark Kelly over on X says, peaceful protesting is a First Amendment right, which I agree with, but vandalism is not. Those trashing Tesla dealerships and vehicles should be prosecuted. For every single penny that this dealership lost, those people should be prosecuted for 100%. They set these vehicles on fire. Here's what's absolutely crazy to me. Here's what's crazy to me. The people that are setting Teslas on fire, knowing good and damn well that those lithium batteries are horrific for the environment in a fire. I don't have a Tesla. I understand the pull to Tesla, why people like them and stuff like that. I personally do not want an electric vehicle because of the whole battery situation. What happens to it once it's done? There's no way to, you know, safely dispose of them. If they catch on fire, there's really no way to put them out. All these different issues for me is why I will not have a Tesla personally. The problem here is Democrats who were pushing the hardest up until, I don't know, Elon Musk decided to align himself with Donald Trump. Democrats were screaming about the climate and everything else and how everybody should have electric cars, and they love Teslas. They thought they're the best things in the world. And now suddenly Teslas are evil and they should be set on fire because screw the climate. The absolute hypocrisy behind it all is mind-boggling to me. The same people who pretended to give two craps about the earth and the ozone and everything else are the exact same people who will flip the second they don't agree with the person who makes the vehicle. The vehicle didn't do anything to you. The vehicle did nothing wrong. Just because you don't like Elon doesn't change the fact that, in their opinion, an electric vehicle should be better for the economy. Why are we setting Teslas on fire? Like, just don't go buy one. If you're that upset with Elon, just don't give any money to his companies. But what you're doing here is a complete 180 difference from what you say you want for the climate. Anyway, it's ridiculous to me. What else is crazy is the new thing now where if you happen to be pulling up next to somebody in a Tesla, you just flip them the bird. There are so many videos out there of people in their Teslas pulling up to regular people, and they are getting flipped off while sitting in traffic because they're in a Tesla. Democrats owned Teslas long before Elon Musk sided with Donald Trump. And not even sided with Donald Trump, before Elon Musk realized that he did not agree with what the Democrats are doing. So the Democrats who had Teslas to begin with, you have some of them saying that they are giving them back, they're selling them back because they don't want to help Elon and all this other stuff. You have other ones out there who are destroying their own vehicles, which is, that's your money, honey. That's the dumbest thing in the world. Kind of like when Canada was like, oh, we're not selling American liquor anymore. We're taking it off the shelves. All right, boo-boo, you already paid for it. Hurt yourself and your companies if you want, but the U.S. already has their money. So how exactly does this make any kind of sense? And that's what's crazy to me. There is no common sense or logic behind the things that are being done right now. When you pull up to somebody, okay, this person, look how stupid this person is. He walks by and keys a Tesla. Wait, it gets so much better. Then he turns around or keeps going and walks into his apartment with his key that he just keyed a Tesla with. He opens the door to go into where he lives. Hello? I understand that people are stupid, but holy jolly, that's a new level of stupid that I don't even understand. People don't realize that Teslas have a thing called Sentry mode. And what Sentry mode does is it records everything going on around the vehicle when somebody gets close to it, just to be on the safe side. So all these people that are going out and keying Teslas, putting swastikas on Teslas, writing words on them, throwing poo on them, slinging shit on Teslas, wiping it on the doors, all these things, don't understand they're being recorded. Are you really that stupid? Listen, this person clearly did not realize what was going on. Another one here, let's see if I've got it, because I saved a whole lot. What is this one? Okay, this person here went up to a Tesla and wrote, "This car supports Nazis." How is it okay? Masked individual vandalizes a Tesla in Syracuse, New York. The person, who appears to be a male, wrote, "This car supports Nazis" on the hood. The vehicle owner is trying to identify the person in the footage. And so they're looking for help trying to find who this person was, not realizing there are cameras everywhere. Why are these people so incredibly stupid? Get this one. Wait. It gets better. It gets so much better. And by better, I mean stupid. Let's see. Where's this one at? So this one here, this person, I don't know, just decided either to take a shit in his pants so he could dig his fingers in his butt crack and wipe it on a vehicle. I mean, the guy physically, I'm not surprised by this. Again, that's me being, you know, kind of a bitch, but physically I can see that that's the kind of person that guy would be. But who does that? Who does that? That's exactly what this thing says. Who does that? It does not make sense to me. Then, y'all, I want you to listen to Tim Walz. I hate Tim Walz with a passion. I think he is the most just piece of shit person out there. But just listen to him for just 2 seconds.
Saying on my phone, I don't know, some of you know this on the iPhone, they've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to it to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping. So, and if you own one, we're not blaming you. You can take dental floss and pull the Tesla thing off, you know, and take out, just telling you.
Okay, so here's what's interesting to me. He downloads this app so he can see what the Tesla stock is doing. Here's what's crazy. The people who are looking at this, like Tim Walz, and going, the Tesla stock is dropping, and they are talking crap about it and whatever else, and they're laughing and they're clapping like Elon's losing a ton of money. They are the stupid ones. The smart ones are the ones going, oh man, Tesla stock is low right now. Let me go in and buy as much as I can, because guess what's going to happen? It's going to shoot through the roof again. It's what happens with stocks. Tesla is not going anywhere. It's not going to happen. All this is doing, with them vandalizing the Teslas and everything else, it is helping the company in the long run. Absolutely ridiculous that this man does not realize that. Elon Musk himself said, sometimes when I need a little boost, I look at the J.D. Vance portrait in the White House and thank the Lord. And that's how he replied to Tim Walz, reminding Tim Walz that, honey, you lost the election. You're not shit. You're the governor of Minnesota that nobody likes because you put tampons in the boys' bathroom, and boys don't have vaginas. So there's that. But they are so mad at Elon Musk. This is what is the so you know when Kamala Harris was running for president, when they threw her into the den of whatever, they threw her on the ballot, whatever, and she was running for president. The whole thing was joy, joy, joy. Well, now it's all hate Elon, hate Elon, hate Elon. They have this rhetoric, I don't even know if that's the right word, but this one specific thing that they like to focus on. And right now it's Elon Musk. It was Donald Trump, obviously, in the beginning, but they don't even really talk about Trump anymore. Everything they talk about is Elon Musk. And then at some point that'll change and they'll talk about somebody else or whatever. But right now, it's all a push to go after Elon Musk and hopefully hurt his Teslas, all these other things. And I don't know if that means that there's going to be this new car company that's going to show up that's going to be Democrat based and they're going to be pushing that or what. But there's always a reason for why they do the things that they do. They could even be doing this on purpose to tank the stock so they themselves can go in and buy the stock. And the reason I say that is this, because they could get it cheap and then they could make money off of it, right? And the reason I bring that up is because of the Washington Free Beacon revealed that 27 Democrats in Congress used taxpayer funds to lease luxury vehicles from Tesla, Lexus, and Volvo. Although I don't really know Volvo and luxury go in the same sentence. Maybe I'm missing something there. But anyway, interestingly, the de facto Democrat leader Jasmine Crockett's lease payment is the exact amount of a Tesla Model S. So Jasmine Crockett, the ghetto dancing, eyelash wearing, tongue sticking out piece of whatever here, Jasmine Crockett, she leases, in theory, based off this, on taxpayer funds, a Tesla. That's just interesting. What is it that came out during Kamala's thing? Oh yeah, rules for thee, but not for me. Seems to be how it works. They want regular ass people to go out and ruin their lives by keying Teslas and getting caught and going to jail because it's a felony, and then losing their jobs and things like that. But at the same time, they're going to ride around in their Tesla Model S's like it's nothing, because hypocrisy at its finest. Okay, so you have that. Elon Musk posted, just to remind everybody on X, because the left is on X too. It's a 50-50 playground. You have just as many Republicans as you do Democrats on X. Before, excuse me, when it was Twitter, it was closer to I think it was 75% Democrats, 25% Republicans. It was just a hate-filled location. Now it's 50-50. Still a lot of hate. Still a lot of hate. I'm not even gonna pretend like there's not. And it's from both sides. I'm right now sound pretty hateful because I think these people are all stupid and I'm pointing it out. That's fine. But now you have a 50-50 chance of seeing the other side's posts and what they think, right? So Elon posted for both sides, just as a reminder for Republicans who want a Tesla that, hey, you're covered by the cameras, and for Democrats who want to key a Tesla, hey, you're caught by the cameras. He posted, Tesla Sentry mode captures video of anyone attempting to harm it. Bad news for criminals, which is very true. This one here. This guy tried to put a swastika in the side of this car in Colorado, and he gets caught by the car's camera. The gym, because it was at Crunch Fitness, I believe, out in the gym parking lot, the gym cameras picked him up. They looked at him and ID'd him, and then they nabbed Brandon Joseph Velez and charged him with a felony. So, although we, generally speaking, the major populace of we, don't love the fact that there are cameras everywhere. Feels like an invasion of privacy. This is one of those moments where maybe it's a good thing to have it on your vehicle, on your front door, on your whatever else. I talked to you guys about how we got a Ring camera for the front door. I have Ring cameras in my house and all around my house so that we can check on things all the time, because I would rather be safe than not know what's going on in my home. And whether it's Ring or anybody else, there's some people who don't like it because it gives, they say it gives people the ability to hack in and do all these things, which may be true, may be true. I don't know how to do any of that, so I cannot guarantee that that's a thing or not. But at the end of the day, I feel secure, safer, knowing that at any point in time, I can pull up on my Ring app all the cameras around my house and see what's going on. Make sure, one, that my dog's okay when he's here by himself. Make sure that there's nobody in my backyard. Watch the pool guy to make sure he's actually doing what he's supposed to do. Watch if there's landscapers, that they're doing what they're supposed to do. Watch whatever's going on, right? And that is the same thing for the Teslas, especially right now. You may not want the cameras, but if you happen to have a Tesla, you may want to go ahead and put that Sentry mode on, because at the end of the day, it's keeping your money safe, because it's not like you got a Tesla for free. I didn't get this house for free. I want to make sure that everything I have is safe, right? So these people that are going out there and vandalizing Teslas, whether it's setting them on fire, whether it's putting swastikas on them, whether it's wiping crap on them. This one guy, I didn't save the video, but this guy in, I feel like it was New York also, was walking his dog and had the bag of dog poop and flung it on the side of the vehicle. Are you serious right now? It's visible. Everybody can see it. Anybody can rat you out for it. But knowing that these cars have cameras, I don't see why people are still so stupid that they go up to them and try to vandalize them. It's like you're asking to have your entire life upended, because that's what's going to happen. One, you're going to be internet famous for being a dumbass. Two, somebody's going to recognize you and rat you out. Three, the police are going to show up knocking on your door. And four, wherever you work is going to cut you off because they don't want to be the place that employs the person who flung doo-doo on a Tesla and went viral for it. I'm just saying, that's how I feel about that. Now, please hold. There was more that I wanted to mention to you, and I just want to make sure I don't miss anything of it. We did that one. We did that one. So earlier today, this was a couple hours ago. I just want to bring this to your attention. So there's an active shooter at a hospital in Michigan, and this is on Daily Mail. Somebody posted this. I guess it's a TikTok thing, but all the police officers or police cars at this hospital in Michigan. I did not do any more research on that before we started this, just FYI. So if you happen to be in that area in Michigan, one, I hope that you're safe. And if you have anybody in whatever hospital this is, that they're safe. But when I click on it here, I just want to see if there's any new information. Let's see if they're saying anything. Everybody's going to say, of course, it's a trans person, but there's no guarantee on that right now. I don't see any newer information on exactly what's going on. So I will keep an eye out for that and let you know. Wait, okay, here it is. Here it is. I got it. In theory, this is correct. Hopefully this is right. A shooting occurred at Corewell Health Beaumont Troy Hospital in, go back to where you were, in Michigan on Thursday, March 20th. That's today. The shooter, who is a hospital employee, opened fire in the hospital parking lot, injuring a 25-year-old male staff member in the arm. The victim is in stable condition and is being treated at the hospital. The suspect fled the scene, leading to a massive manhunt and a hospital lockdown. Police confirmed the suspect's identity but have not released it. By 1 p.m., the suspect was apprehended. That's what they're saying. I don't know what time it is in Michigan right now. It is only 11:22 here. I don't think it's 1 o'clock in Michigan. Maybe I'm wrong here. That's a lot of police officers for one person being shot and then the person fleeing. You would think the police would be out looking more. So I'm not 100% sure. See, it's not 1 o'clock yet. So this is why you have to be careful. I want to believe that this is accurate, but I do not know for a fact. But we will come back to that later on. It was just the first one that was posted on here that looked like it could have some validity to it, but we will come back to that later on and see what's going on. Now, the last thing, not the last thing, we could do this forever, really. Where is this? Oh, this is what I want to bring to you. People are talking a whole lot of shit about Michelle Obama's head on her podcasting that she does. I would like to point out that I'm not going to say anything about her hairdo because it's a very popular hairdo since that was that movie Woman King. I don't remember if that's the name of the movie or not. Woman King, I don't know. But this hairdo, no, actually this one, the first time I saw it was excuse me guys, the first time I saw this hairdo was on, what's her name in the movie, Rey in Star Wars, that Star Wars movie. I'm pretty sure that's how Rey wore her hair. And I remember seeing this like viral TikTok that went around of this little girl who's probably 6 years old who dressed up like Rey and did her hair exactly the same and was at Universal or Disney, whichever one has the big Star Wars ride. I think it's Disney in California. And the girl, the person who works there who played Rey, the girl who works at Disney who dresses as Rey, is the Rey character, saw the little girl on the sideline of the parade and went over and like hugged her and stuff like that. But so I'm not going to say anything about the hairdo itself because she might look stupid in it. I think after a certain age, there's certain things you shouldn't do, but that's just me. At 43, I'm not going to walk around with my ass and tits hanging out, but that's just me. You do you, boo, if that's your thing. It is not mine. But at her age, I feel like there are certain hairdos that, whether culturally appropriate for whoever you are or not, should just kind of be left alone. And I feel like that's one of those things that should have been left alone. That is not a hairdo that she should have jumped in with, but it's getting people talking. Michelle Obama may be Michael, but she's not, he's not, they're not, it's not stupid. They need to have people talking about the podcast so that people will go watch Obama, I guess Obama Robinson, because the brother, Craig Robinson, right? So they need people to watch their podcast. Look, I'm blaming this on how much pollen is in the air right now and hoarseness. But my mother-in-law had laryngitis for like the first couple of days that she was here from all of us yelling in the car, laughing for a 6-hour drive from Georgia back to Florida. So maybe this is just from me yelling yesterday while we were out having fun, whatever. Anyway, they need to get ratings or views on their podcast. And the easiest way to do that is to do something that's going to get talked about, whether it's in a positive way or a negative way. But unfortunately, negative does the most. People will talk about the negative before they'll talk about the positive. I'm just as guilty of that because negative is what most people are going to click on. If I titled this live stream, hey, let's talk about all the good stuff I've seen in the last 24 hours, it would be crickets in this mofo. Nobody's clicking on it. I don't know why we are all like inherently drawn to the drama, but it is what it is. So we start off with the drama and then we throw good stuff in the middle and surprise people with it, right? But she, he, they, whatever, is hoping that by doing whatever they did with their head, that it's going to go viral. And look, I have fallen into their trap and we have talked about it and whatever else. It is just interesting to me how many people on X specifically are posting it and talking a bunch of shit about her hairdo and saying how stupid it looks and whatever else, which is true. But at the same time, I think you should be able to do what you want with your hair, but know that you're a certain age group, maybe not so much. That's all I got. That's all I got with that one. Now, let's do this real fast. I want you to hear this because I should have played this for you sooner when we were talking about Kamala and Tim Walz. I haven't seen JD Vance a whole lot lately. I do know the last time we really talked about him or saw him was when he was out walking his daughter. And people are like, ew, he said walking his daughter. Well, yeah, I mean, he could say walking with his daughter, but it's the same damn thing. So, but he's out walking his or with his daughter. And the lady was like screaming in his face about some stuff. And he's like, listen, I'm trying to walk with my kid here. How about you back the hell off and whatever else? That's really the last time that we saw anything or heard anything from him or about him, at least in my realm of what I've been looking at. But this, to me, I would like you to hear this. Listen.
How are you doing the job differently than Kamala did it?
Well, I don't have 4 shots of vodka before every meeting. That's one way I think that Kamala really tried to bring her.
That was it. I just wanted you to hear that. I don't know if this guy would be copyright or not, so I'm not going to play the whole thing. But JD Vance saying, I don't have 4 shots of vodka before everything I do. It's like, oh, shots fired, and I effing love it. Those are my favorite kind of shots fired, right? Is when you state the obvious truth. Because there's nothing they can say about it. It's not like at this point in time, Kamala Harris could get all butthurt about it and come back and go, no, I only take 3 shots of vodka. Because, I mean, she would have to either come back with the truth of how many shots of vodka she actually takes, or she'd have to sit in the corner and shut the fuck up. Because we all know that that woman was sloshed on the campaign trail. We have seen her stone cold sober, and she has the personality of a wet noodle. And we have seen her sloshed as all get out, and she has a personality of a dumbass. There seems to be no winning with Kamala Harris or Kamala, whatever the crap we're supposed to call her. Her name is actually Kamala, not Kamala. Kamala. Which way is it supposed to go? Before she ran for anything, she had her real name. And then when she ran for whatever, they tried to change it so that they can make a chant out of it at the DNC. Kamala. Right? That's the one they tried because they're like, Kama, like the thing with the... Either way, her name is Kamala. Always has been because she's Indian or whatever it is her mom is, not black. That's her name. But either way, she's probably off drinking something somewhere, trying to figure out how to keep her husband in the closet so they can keep their marriage going. Dougie Emhoff, keep him away from Tim Walz because, man, those two like to bro hug it out a lot or whatever. At the end of the day, JD Vance is not even a savage. He's not even savage. He's just honest. And I think that's what is the best part about it. Him and Donald Trump are just honest when they speak. They don't filter their stuff. And like I've talked about numerous times before, we have gotten so used to presidential talk that when the president now just talks like we would in a regular conversation, normal setting, friend to friend, people are like, oh my God, no, you're the president. You can't talk like that. Says who? Says who? Just because we've been conditioned to think you can't talk like that does not mean you can't talk like that. That's what's crazy to me. We had 4 years of Trump saying everything he wanted to say, whatever. And then you had Joe Biden come in. And I feel like Joe Biden was a little more negatively vocal than previous presidents, maybe possibly. Like he would say like little digs and stuff, whereas maybe other presidents before wouldn't have as much. And I think it's because even that, demented dumbass understood, or dementia dumbass, that's different than being demented. So dementia dumbass even understood that it's okay to speak and not sound like a puppet. At the end of the day, he still sounded like a puppet, so it doesn't really matter. But I am very thankful. I am so thankful to have JD Vance and not what's his face, Tim Walz. Even if it had been, this is the weirdest thing I was thinking of earlier. What if JD Vance had been a Democrat? Okay, just hear me out. What if he had been Democrat, but had been exactly who he was and talked exactly the way he did, but he was Kamala Harris's VP pick? Would people have voted for Kamala Harris just to get JD Vance? And I know it probably wouldn't work because the left and right are so completely 180 different on values and stuff like that. But I think if Kamala Harris had somebody like J.D. Vance, somebody with an actual set of cojones and whatever else, versus Tim Walz, who only wanted to touch other people's cojones, she would have had a better chance of having somebody vote for her, as opposed to the 5 men who thought they were women or whatever, people that did vote for her. So that's that. So then yesterday, y'all, I have it here. Let's see. A lot of stuff came out for the JFK files, in case anybody's curious about that. A lot of information came out there. But one of the other things that happened yesterday is, if I can find it, which I don't think I had, so many things yesterday. Y'all, so many things. There's way too many things. That's the problem. There's way too many things. So there was a dude with a gun at the CIA office, and I have it saved. And he looked like the dude from, if you've ever seen the movie Wrong Turn, the inbred woods living people. That's what this guy looked like. Oh, here it is. Active shooter at the CIA headquarters today looks like the little dude from Wrong Turn. That's what Rob on X said. And I want you to see. So this is the active shooter that was at the CIA building, right? And I have to assume this is after the JFK Jr. files were released. It says JFK files. It says a suspected gunman was taken into custody outside the CIA headquarters on Wednesday morning after he was seen making threats with a weapon near the agency's base. Now, look at the guy. Okay, look at the guy. Look at the guy from Wrong Turn. Twinsies? Twinsies? Yes, okay, twinsies. So that guy has been arrested, and that's going on. The other interesting... Oh, here's the guy who flung the poo. Here's the guy who flung the dog shit. See, I was telling y'all about that. That's the guy who flung the dog shit. Oh, St. Petersburg, Florida. I was way off. Still East Coast, just the wrong state. This was here. This is a Tesla dealership in Canada. They were spray painting it, and when one of the employees came out, they hit her in the face with spray paint. This person who keyed a Tesla in Dallas, I think he's leaving the airport or something, just walks by with a key. Sentry mode, bitches. Y'all gonna get caught every single time. This guy who was walking around and spits on a Tesla. What good did you just do? What is the point in any of this? But what's crazy is, I know we've gone backwards here, sorry. What's crazy is these people are letting Democrat psychos, sure, we'll go with that, brainwash them into thinking that they should loathe Elon Musk and Tesla, although before the election, you should love Teslas and Elon Musk for what he's doing with electric vehicles and everything else, because it's helping the climate. What side do we need to be on here? What is happening with all of this? It is the downside is the Democrats are the most bandwagony, batshit crazy group out there. It is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. All right, we got to go to lunch soon. So I got one or two more that I wanted to mention to you. This is because we were talking about Tim Walz. Oh, because we're talking about Tim Walz. Look, we have to play this because, look, I am not the most feminine female out there, right? I'm always in t-shirts and sweatpants or shorts and jeans and whatever else. I'm not all dressed up. I'm not all girly. My hair's in a bun most of the time. Whatever the makeup thing is going on. I have fingernail polish now. Woohoo. I've, feminined up a little bit. Don't know how to say that. I have broad shoulders. I am, not a tiny little girl by any means necessary. And I like the gym, and I like sports, and I like getting rough, and I like getting my hands dirty, all those other things. Technically, I feel like I have more testosterone than Tim Walz. If it came down to it, and we were of the same age, because right now beating his ass when he's old and I'm younger than him doesn't seem like a very smart thing or a nice thing. If we were the same age, I feel like I could take that man one arm tied behind my back. And I'm a girl and he's a, guy, whatever. But I want you to hear what he has to say here. Well, talking to Gavin Newsom, who also I would have no problem throat punching at least once in life and going to jail for it and being perfectly happy with that.
But I think this notion of toxicity and masculinity needs to be separated. And I think it's been conflated. And I think we're going to have to work on that a little bit. And I think there is a crisis.
I think some of us scare them. I think I scare them a little bit why they spend so much time on it. No, I'm serious, because I can fix a truck. They know I'm not bullshitting on this. Yeah. I'm not putting this in people's grill. I don't know if my identity is not hunting. My identity is not football coaching. My identity is not, a beard and a truck.
Real quick.
Why does he equate being able to fix something on a truck with being masculine, and that it would scare Republican men because you can fix something on a truck? Bro, so can I. I don't know what to tell you. Anybody can pull up a YouTube video and go figure out how to fix something on a truck. The fact that he has said that he could kick the asses of Republicans, that he thinks he is more masculine than the rest of them, that that our version of masculine is toxic. Listen, I want a man who's a man. That's why I married the one I have. I don't want a man who paints his fingernails, no offense to, 80s and 90s rockers. I don't want a man who thinks that tampons belong in boys' bathrooms. I don't want a man who thinks it's okay for other men to dress up as women and invade women's spaces. I don't want a man who thinks it's okay to be a pussy. Basically, at the end of the day, nothing about Tim Walz screams testosterone or masculinity at all. At all. He would cry before he would fight. And that's the problem. If we were out and we were getting attacked, he would run. He would not fight to keep me safe. He would run. He would turn tail and run because he's a little bitch. You know it. I know it. We all know it. His wife knows it. All of it. Either way, the reason I played that is to then bring you to the unfortunate fact that the batshit crazy apple does not fall far from the tree. And listen to his daughter just for a second. You ready? Just for 1 second.
This moral high ground that certain people have, and this talk about protecting the children and keeping tampons out of boys' bathrooms, which tells me they didn't even read the bill, but that's a whole nother thing. Also, if you have a wife or a daughter above the age of 12, 13, ages vary, you share a bathroom, you probably also have tampons in your bathroom. And the fact that they scare you and you're so obsessed with it is fucking weird. But
she is the most clueless person out there besides her dad. Between the two of them, they are batshit crazy. She is trying to equate a family, a husband, a wife, and a daughter. Okay. Oh, exactly what I have here in my household, living together and having tampons in the bathroom because of wife and daughter. That is the same thing as in a all boys only location, having tampons. Little ma'am, little dumbass ma'am. If there's not a vagina ever going into that bathroom, you don't need tampons in it. Not one single time. Not one single time do you need tampons in there. And if you do have a vagina and you're going in there because you want to pretend like you have a penis, something fucking morally, mentally wrong with you, and you should get out. Now, if you're a girl who is like, oh man, the line for the girls' bathroom is way too long, I should go in the boys' bathroom, you would have your own tampon, because you're not going to expect to go into the boys' bathroom and find a tampon. Hello? Why is common sense only reserved for the right? That's what I need to understand. Why is common sense only reserved for Republicans? When did the Democrats go, oh, there's some common sense over here, we should really get rid of that? What do we do to get rid of that? I know. Convince our base that boys dressed as girls is normal and perfectly fine, and that boys taking over girls' sports is great, and that taking over their locker rooms. Listen, I have an entire video we're going to do about this later. I have to be very careful with it because I don't know if YouTube will let me do it. It might end up going over on Patreon. Tons of stuff over there. By the way, side note, a lot of people have asked about a tour of the bathroom and other places. Those things will be over on Patreon. I'm not putting shit all over YouTube. It'll be over there. It's free to join. You guys want to check it out, there is a link in the description. If you want to support, cool. If not, also cool. At the end of the day, there are some things going on in our country that even with a Republican-led government, we are still having to deal with because of Democrat-led cities and states. And those cities and states are what is wrong with this country at the end of the day. And we're going to have a conversation about that a little bit later on. And it's going to have a little bit to do with this batshit crazy little mofo right here. And then we'll talk about some other stuff and whatnot. And we're going to get into this whole situation here. I know this is entertainment related, but it's a very important conversation to have. So we'll do that a little bit later. But now it's time to go eat lunch with the family. And on that, I'm going to leave you with this fun thing that happened here in Florida a couple days ago with the Trump drone show, with doing his dance and everything else that was badass. I mean, like, it was really cool if you got to see it. I did not. Where I live, it was not visible, but it was really cool looking, and watching it online is really cool. So anyway, besides that, I love y'all immensely. We will do a little bit more of this later today, definitely tomorrow. That's it. I love y'all. I hope you have a fabulous day until we see each other again, and even past that, obviously, always a fabulous day. I'd love your thoughts and comments in the comment section when this is all said and done. And until the next time, goodbye.